Causeway Street Podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Pavone. Joel Pavone. Mr. Sean Dutra.
Hey, this is Leon Poe, man. You listening to Causeway Street Podcast.
What's up, y'all? This is Kenny Anderson.
Hi, this is Tyler Zeller from the Boston Celtics.
Y'all listen to the Causeway Street Podcast.
For all you new listeners out there, I'm your host, Joseph Pavone. I'm joined as usual by my two co-hosts.
I'm Sean Dutra. What's up? So
Yeah,
like
talk
long
about
walks
yourself.
on the beach.
There you go. Joel Pavone. What up?
I'm a Pisces.
The most
It
romantic.
leads off with that.
The most romantic sign in all of Zodiac.
Oh,
You couldn't tell by my voice already.
oh,
Sexy. I'm the producer of this ensemble that we call Causeway Street. In case you missed it.
Hey, Bill Walton here, Celtics 1986. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Yeah, come here for nothing but the truth. This is where dreams come true. Thank you, Boston, for my life.
where are we going?
You guys are such homers.
It's your boy Tay Rozier. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Now listen to my boys Joe, Sway, Joel, and Sean.
Welcome back into your favorite Celtics podcast. This is Causeway Street. Joseph Pavone, Sean Dutra,
What's up?
Joel Pavone. What's up, fellas? And the Boston Celtics have finally won a game in this series because those first two games didn't look promising in my opinion, but they've turned things around in Game 3, a very, very crucial game. But of course, a lot went into this game, and we'll break it all down. For starters, no Rajon Rondo, out indefinitely. They're talking about he won't even return for this series. So that was a big impact in this one. We'll break it down. We'll look ahead to Game 4, and we'll talk about what went wrong in Game 1 and 2 because we haven't spoken to you guys since before the playoffs started. So
It's been a long time.
Been a long time. We got a lot to get into. Let's just talk about Game 3, and then we'll backtrack a bit, and then we'll look ahead. All right? Sounds good, fellas?
I love looking ahead.
That's true. That's your,
Yes.
that's your thing. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
It's been a while since you did one of those, huh?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much know the schedule.
You want to look ahead anyways later?
We play the Bulls.
Well, at least now
That's all we got.
At least now we know we're going back to Boston, though. That's
That's
good, right?
true.
The series going to go back to
Playing-
Boston. No sweeps.
Playing
That's
the Bulls a lot, huh?
Yeah, Bulls a lot. This schedule, man, it's crazy. No, but it's about time the Celtics actually showed up for a game. I mean, the first Game 1, you could argue they did show up. Sorta, but I mean, finally they looked like the team we saw in the regular season last night in Game 3.
I thought Game 1 was a perfect opportunity for them to capitalize on the Bulls in that second half. But Jimmy Butler went off, and I felt like that was a big part of why the Bulls won that game. However, you look at Game 3, that was certainly not the case. I mean, Jimmy Butler was off throughout the entire night, and they really needed his offense. So looking ahead, I have to say my biggest concern is, one, Jimmy Butler's probably going to drop about 30. And 2, the Celtics scored 17 three-pointers. Now, I'm not the one to say I don't like the Celtics scoring a lot of three-pointers. My concern is, can the Celtics beat the Bulls? Can the Celtics win a playoff game without scoring so much from behind the arc? What do you guys think about that?
Scoring or shooting?
Scoring.
Then they have to make them.
Yeah, they have to
if
make
they're
'em.
gonna,
Well,
they're gonna
I think-
take the 3-pointers. They got to make them.
Well, I think the major difference in Game 3 was they were actually hitting.
Yeah, so
the
that's
three-point
the
shot.
thing, is that can they win without hitting that that many 3-pointers in the playoffs?
Because you don't want to be a team that relies on that. And like we said in the last
Do
episode,
they not want to be that team? I feel like they sort of want to be that
No, they
team.
want to be that team, but in my opinion, I don't think that's a formula for success in the future or even in this series. I mean, if this series was tied up or if they were ahead, I would say, okay, all right, go for it. But if those shots aren't falling, if Jay Crowder and Avery Bradley aren't making those threes, then can the Celtics win Game 4? Because I think this is a must-win for the Celtics. You don't want to go back to Boston down 3-1. You don't. We've seen in the past what happens to teams that go down 3-1. Of course, we've seen teams come back from those from that type of deficit, but I don't think this team is strong enough to pull something like that off. I don't think they're a Golden State or Cleveland Cavaliers type team that can come back being down 3-1.
Well, I think the main thing that they have to keep up in Game 4 is the ball movement. Like that extra pass is what was impressive to me in Game 3. Like sharing the ball, multiple people in double figures. It wasn't all about just Isaiah, standing around and watch Isaiah do his thing. Isaiah was also a ball distributor last night.
Yeah.
Which was great. That's always great to see. He had 9 assists. He realized that he can affect the game in other ways, which is always good. I mean, I think outside of the 3-point shooting, because technically in game 1, that's one of the few things that kept him in that game until the 4th, was the ability to hit the 3-point shot. But they weren't rushing this time around like the first 2 games. I felt like even with their open looks, they were just rushing and like early in the shot clock instead of like trying to find a better shot.
Well, this is what I'll say about game 3. I think you saw 2 major things that gives the Celtics hope to be able to come back in this series and also be that team we saw in the regular season. You look at Avery Bradley and Jay Crowder, both sort of got off the schneid. I know you differ this, but I think Crowder has sucked in the first 2 games of the series.
I think he's been solid. I think he's provided the type of production that you want out of him. 17 points.
Yeah.
Knocking down a couple threes. I don't mind that, especially in game 1. Well, in game 1, he was off, but then he found ways to score without shooting from the outside. He was cutting. Right. He was, making plays to the basket. Those last 2 threes in the final, 35 seconds, I didn't agree with that, especially the second one. But for the most part, I feel like he's been consistent, a guy that you can rely on to score at least double figures night in and night out.
But the problem I have with Crowder, and even leaked over into last night, is he's taking a ton of shots.
Yeah.
Which, like, besides Isaiah Thomas, he was the second leading shot taker on the Celtics last night. I don't know why I'm struggling trying to say this. He took 15 fucking shots.
There you go.
I needed to swear to be able to do it, and 7 of those were 3-pointers. So, like, if you're feeling it, like, it didn't hurt the Celtics last night because I feel like when he was jacking up these shots, the Celtics were able to recover from it. But it's just, I don't want him to be that guy. Now, I will say this.
So you're just saying less 3-point shot attempts.
No, if he's on, take the 3-pointers. We need someone else to score, and Jay Crowder wants to be that guy, which I love it.
It's the same thing with Smart. I feel like Smart's taking a lot of shots, and I feel like
Smart took 5 shots last night.
No, but I'm saying like overall.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not in game 3, and he did take the ball to the hoop more than he has in the entire series.
Right.
And I feel like when he does that, him or Crowder, there's no one that can really stop them. You know, even Isaiah. How many times we've seen Isaiah mix it up, taking it to the hoop, getting to the free throw line, and I feel like Jay Crowder and Smart especially can do that. They have the body types to do that. And who's going to really stop them?
Yeah.
Well, the Bulls will stop them. Because think about it. The Bulls, they've done an excellent job of protecting the rim, stopping guys at the hoop. I mean, Isaiah's gotten through. Maybe Marcus Smart has a little bit. He also got to the free throw line last night. But you look at some of these plays. I mean, they're stopping Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder. I mean, Robin Lopez. You know, they're bigs up front.
Don't even mention Robin Lopez.
Yeah, but you're picking your spots, though. It's like how many times, especially the way they move the ball, that the lane was wide open and they've elected, going back to Jay Crowder and Marcus Smart, for example, they elected to shoot instead of just driving to the hoop.
Well, that's one thing I thought that they would do going into game 3. I thought that they would slow the game down, find new ways to score without relying on the outside shot, and they did the exact opposite.
And
it was like, they
just utilize the pick and roll.
It was like
more
Brad
too.
Stevens was like, look, this is the formula that we won 53 games
Right.
with.
They're not going
We're
to
going to continue doing it. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, then, so to get back to my point with Browder and Bradley, Jesus, what is wrong with me today, man? I'm just all amped up because
that coffee, bro. It was that coffee, bro.
Man, that coffee, I'm all tapped out, bro.
It's that future recipe, yo.
I got that purple drink. Okay. Crowder and Bradley last night were a plus 23 for Crowder and a plus 22 for Bradley. That shows me that they're, even though, you know, Crowder was taking some shots that I didn't really like, they're actually, you know, being in the game when we're going on these runs. They're being a positive impact on the game,
contributing,
which is absolutely huge. And both of those players were guarding Wade and Butler last night. Butler was a minus 27 on the night.
Yeah.
Pretty much thanks to Crowder, Bradley, whoever was guarding him
Smart,
during that time, and Smart.
Yeah.
Because and I think also too, that was going to be my second point, is Marcus Smart seems to be finding more of his role where he's not trying to force these shots. Like last night, he took only 5 shots, which I love. Like, he's not just going up there and jacking threes, or, you know, but he's playing great defense. He's able to really frustrate Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler all night. So if you're able to get those three players, as weird as it sounds, those three players have to show up every single night for the Celtics to be successful. They can't just rely on Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah. Because they give it to you on both sides.
Exactly. It's
on both ends.
It's not just Bradley or Smart only had 7 points last night. What's going on with Smart? But he played great defense.
And he had a few assists.
He had rebounds, assists. He was just those players have to be positive impacts on the game.
Like everybody has to,
but they all have to be on.
Yeah,
that's the thing. They all
on.
have to be on.
Yeah.
You can't just have one. You can't
Bradley,
just have the other. You have to have them all three on. That's the key. That's the motor.
Bradley, outside of his shooting, had 7 rebounds and 7 assists. The assist is what comes out to me because Bradley and the rest of the Celtics didn't just rely on Isaiah trying to set everybody up. And
that means they're moving the ball. Because Bradley's not the kind of guy that's bringing the ball up and just dishing for the shot. Yeah. Those assists are coming
looking for the better shot.
Exactly.
Looking for the better shot. Exactly.
Because we know Bradley can't dribble and can't run the offense. So it's not like he's not doing this rondo out there and
he knows
getting those assists.
And he knows that. He's
right.
aware of that.
He's in the corner, he's making that one extra pass, and that's going for the bucket. So that's huge. Huge for the Celtics.
And everyone is having rebounds. Everyone's grabbing rebounds, and everyone is passing the ball, moving the ball. I mean, they had 34 assists on 41 made shots.
Right. That's Celtics basketball.
That's Celtics basketball.
That's how Stevens
when they're
wants
that's when they're
everything
at their best.
Exactly. So this game, the game 3, was the way the Celtics have to play the rest of the series and the rest of their playoff run to be successful.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But that's what worries me though, because what happens if
I don't think it's just the threes. I don't think it's just the threes. No,
I think it is. I think, or if not, it's at least a lot of outside shooting.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to get 17 threes every night. You know what I mean? But they're going to be, if they're moving the ball.
Yeah, exactly. There's a difference when you're moving the ball and finding that extra, or making that extra pass and finding that extra.
And that shot's within the offense.
Shot, yes.
It's within the flow.
And you're trusting each other to take these shots. I mean, look at Rozier. Look at how
Rozier was huge last night.
Look at how giddy he was. He was having fun out there.
Yeah, one thing I learned about Rozier is that he's a much better catch and shoot guy than he is off the dribble.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times we see him blow past his defender, but he misses the layup? Or how many times you see him kind of go out of control and lose the ball?
And just pop a shot or whatever.
Or he loses the ball. Yeah. Or he'll pop a shot that's just way off. Catch and shoot in rhythm. We saw that time and time again in game 3. And another guy who surprised me in the starting lineup was Gerald Green. Did you guys see this coming? I mean, I knew there was no way in hell Amir Johnson was going to start that game after the way he played in game 1 and 2. But Gerald Green is the last person, or one of the last people, aside from James Young, that I expected to see in that starting 5.
I would have expected more like Jonas.
I was thinking Jonas. Or you know what? I was like, you know what? Jonas hasn't. I mean, he played well in game 3, but I was like, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he, either went to Jaylen Brown, which would have been a bit of a surprise because he hasn't been feeling Jaylen Brown throughout the series.
Nope.
Or just go small, completely small, way smaller than I expected, and just put Marcus Smart in there. Right. I was thinking that might have happened. But in comes Gerald Green, energy guy. When we talk about energy guys, talk about Rozier, Green. Those are the 2, in my opinion, top energy guys aside from Marcus Smart off the bench who are just going to give you not only just instant offense, but give you the intensity that they need. The intensity that this team is missing, especially on the road, a playoff team that's on the road down 0-2, because we saw this team go down 0-2 last year. But the difference between last year and this year is that now they're going on the road. Right. So you needed that intensity. You needed that attitude. And that's exactly what you got out of Gerald Green.
Yeah, man. He was a great energy guy. I think the last month of the season, the few episodes that we did that, we always brought up Gerald Green.
I thought you talking about games. We call them episodes.
No. No, I'm talking about us.
No, okay. Season 55.
When we would
episode
of the Boston
Celtics.
No, when we were talking about the bench,
binge watching that shit.
We were talking about the bench, who was potentially the guy who's going to give you that spark, and we all said, "Shit, Gerald Green can give you that guy."
Well, the athleticism is the biggest part of the thing. Whether we're talking rebounding or whether we're talking about defense, I mean, he can provide that. Yeah. It was just something that I thought, it would only be for a short span of, maybe he starts, maybe he clocks in about 12, 13 minutes, but. Heck, you look at the box score. He clocked in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I would say shorten the leash on Gerald Green a little bit. I'm just a little nervous. I don't think he's going to start game 4. I don't know.
Nah, you can't switch up the formula though.
I just don't.
I mean, he may start, but he may not clock in 20 minutes.
I don't think.
And remember, he rolled his ankle and it still came back.
Yeah, I would love to see Smart in the starting lineup. I mean, that's just me because I think that lineup is your most talented lineup. You know, maybe not the best matchup, but Smart can defend. You know, Smart can defend. Is it Mirotic or Neritic?
Mirotic. Nicola.
Why does he have such a fucking weird name, man?
I don't know.
Mirotic?
Yeah.
Anyways, what I was just saying is Smart can defend him, so you're not really losing a lot in the starting lineup if you put Smart in. I would prefer to see Smart in the starting lineup because I know Gerald, you know, was 2 for 2 on his first 2 shots, or maybe I know he hit his first shot at least. But
well, the biggest reason I thought Smart would start was because I thought we were going to see Rajon Rondo. And of course, the news broke, what was it, about 5 hours before the game.
Which is crazy.
He's going to be out. Right, it is crazy, especially for the Chicago Bulls, because now they don't have a point guard. They don't have a backup point guard to even take on that role in this, you know, pivotal game 4 before they head back to Boston. So now
Rondo was the most important player for the Bulls down the stretch.
Oh, absolutely, especially in game 1 and 2. I mean,
he was down the stretch of the regular season. They made a playoff push
because of Rajon Rondo.
Once Hoiberg put Rondo back in the starting lineup and gave him the team again, you saw them being put. They pushed. They were like, what, 4 games out of the 8th seed at the beginning of March, and then they made that comeback.
Yeah. Yeah, they win, what, 7-2 in the last 10 games?
Yeah, so I mean that's Rondo, and so they lose that, and this is the one thing about the Bulls that I knew was going to happen, but I didn't know
8-2.
I didn't know what they. Great math.
I just did it in my head right now. You know, I fucking suck at math.
Thanks. Now I know you're not listening to a fucking word I'm saying. You're doing math in your head while I'm talking. You're like, I just said that. No, I do the same thing. No, it's all good.
Now I'm listening.
No. But they can't. This team can't overcome any adversity at all, ever. So I didn't know what the adversity would be, but okay, it's Rajon Rondo breaking his thumb. They're not going to be able to overcome this. Hoiberg has no control of the room. This was basically Rondo's team at this point and Wade's team at this point. And if Wade isn't going to take over the point guard role as he should at this point.
He doesn't want to.
Right. Which is the problem with the team. They have no leadership.
See, that was the issue before they made their playoff run.
Right. They did.
Wade, it was all like it's like, Wade, you know, we need you to do this. Wade's like, no.
Right.
No, I don't want to practice.
Yeah.
Oh, and guess what? I'm going to shut myself down for the rest of the season because I don't think we're doing anything. You guys just traded away Taj Gibson.
You traded away
for
nothing.
And McBuckets for nothing.
You traded away Tony Snell.
Yeah, exactly. At the beginning of the season, so he's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then like
and then
days
Rondo
before the
back
playoffs,
in the lineup.
Days before the first round of the playoffs. Oh, we're gonna make the playoffs? Guess what, guys? I feel better again.
Yeah.
I feel better again.
Which is really funny because somebody I was talking to the other day was like, I still would take Wade right now over Avery Bradley any day of the week.
That's a blasphemous statement right there.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
And I tried to explain. He's all he kept saying is future Hall of Famer, man. I was like, come on, man.
No one's denying that he's a future Hall of Famer.
I will give you this. Last shot of the game, you got to give it either Avery Bradley or Dwayne Wade. I'm giving it to Wade.
I don't know.
I'm giving it to Wade.
I don't know, man.
Right now.
He's never been like that great of a shooter, but it depends how he.
You just got to make
like if it's like one of those running, towards the hoop, or just like just pop a shot.
You're gonna put the ball in his hands
to take the last shot. Right now. Over Bradley.
Yes. Still, I take Wade. Avery Bradley's a better player overall. I take Avery Bradley on my team 100 times out of 100 over Wade right now. Last shot though in the playoffs.
It's not like 10 out of 10 times though. Maybe like 5 out of 10 times.
Yeah. Then it's a fucking toss up.
Yeah. That's what I was going.
You just 50%. How's that fence feel, Joel?
I was trying to take advantage of you guys not doing math today, so I figured you would have noticed that.
Let's also talk about something that did happen in Game 3 as well.
Scottie Pippen was at the game?
That was Game 2.
Yeah, he was at the game. He was at Game 3 too.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he was in the crowd.
Scottie Pippen.
Scottie, yep.
Gotta love Scottie. No, but Al Horford seems to be.
Yes.
Future definitely loves Scottie.
Let's get into Al.
Al. No. I'm not. I wasn't gonna praise Al.
Why?
Just
Anna was the good luck charm, bro. Anna was at the game.
Okay. All right.
That's right.
Anna, if you're listening, please send this message to Al. Box out Lopez.
That's everybody.
Jesus Christ. No,
That's
because
everybody.
Al is now the center, right? So Amir got bodied by Lopez. Lopez isn't this all-world player, but you know what he does every time? When there's a shot goes up, he sprints towards the basket and gets inside position immediately, which you were coached to do all the time as the big man on the floor.
Yeah.
The Celtics are just letting him get that inside position. Like,
yeah.
that's just something. If you just box him out, if you just box out Lopez, you're taking away his effectiveness. He's not an effective player if he can't get inside.
But he's still a good rebounder though.
Yes, because he gets positioning.
Yeah.
He's if Al tried to box him out last night, Al's grabbing free throws.
You can still
Al's grabbing rebounds from the free throw line when they bounce that far. He should be under the hoop if he's playing the 5.
But then you can say the same thing about Olynyk. Say the same thing about Amir.
Yes, but I understand that. But Al has shown he's able to play under the basket in his career. Amir Johnson is Amir Johnson, right? He's not. Al was a presence down low in Atlanta.
Well, the only thing that drives me nuts when it comes to Al is when he has Mirotic. Now you're going to be second guessing how to say his name.
I thought it was No, it's Nikolai Mirotic.
Mirotic. When he has Mirotic on him and he's on the block, you got to take him to the rim every single time. That is a terrible defender.
Not only that.
I mean, Robert Lopez is a better defender, and I can understand where you may be reluctant, but I feel like we've seen so many times throughout the series where he'll look at all 4 of his teammates on the floor, like, okay, I can't pass any of you guys. All right, I guess I'll take this. And then instead of going inside, he'll settle for a jump shot. I'm like, come on, Al, go in there. But with that being said, though, that's probably my only knock on him in this series. He's done a great job of finding his guys. Yep. He's done a great job defensively. 4 steals last night. That was huge. Right. And he was just sort of that momentum guy. He was the glue guy on offense, I felt like, getting everyone their touches and finishing when he needed to. We saw him finish down low, finish strong. I love the attitude. I love the rah-rah out of him.
Yeah, the little eagle dance he did after he dunked that thing.
You need that because right now you're not going to see that out of Isaiah. I'm sorry. I mean, with everything going on, Isaiah Thomas not going to give you that. Who else? Marcus Smart's going to give you some of that, but you need someone in that starting unit to give you that attitude, to flex, flex your muscles a bit against the Bulls. And that's exactly what you saw out of Al.
Yeah, and the one thing that I just like I said, he had a good game last night. I'm not taking that away from him. But sound
like you are, man.
You have to.
He was the leading scorer last night, just so you know.
I know. I'm saying he had a good game last night. I'm not saying he did. He didn't. But just focus on the matchup. We're getting killed by Lopez. We probably would have won game 1 if they just boxed out Lopez.
Okay. I don't know.
You take away.
Biggest game was game 2, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know, but we got blown out in game 2. Game 1 was close. Lopez was just Lopez has dominated. If I had to pick a most valuable player in the series so far, it's freaking Lopez.
No.
Yes, it is,
it's
man.
Rondo.
In the series?
No, in the series so far, it's Lopez.
I
it's
think
Lopez
it's
over Rondo.
Yeah.
No, because
I expect to see the Bulls get him more touches.
Exploiting
in game 4,
the weakness. It
especially
exploits
that
the
mid-range.
Celtics' weakness. What's the biggest weakness of the Celtics? Rebounding. What's Lopez's been killing us on?
Yeah, but it's just rebounding though.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's putbacks.
The Celtics can beat the Bulls when they lose the rebounding game. They just proved it.
No, it's the offensive rebounds.
That's how he scored. Listen. That's how he scored in games 1 and 2, right? Because Rondo was finding him.
Right.
And no one, they're just leaving him with that mid-range. Like, yeah, go ahead and pop that if you want. We'll live with that.
Right.
And he's making it.
And he's making it, which was ridiculous, which he normally won't.
In game 3, they were pretty much, I'm putting up a number.
Pushback.
Like 80% of his points came from offensive rebounds.
Yes.
Second chance, points.
That's what I'm saying, is that even if, I don't care, Al, if you want to step out, and be this stretch 4 type player, and you want to on offense, fine. But on defense, you need to stay down low and just body Lopez and get that rebound. So many times I see him he wants to step out. And maybe this is part of Stevens' coaching. He wants to step out and just always commit to that pick and roll. He never follows Lopez back into the lane.
I got you, but
you have good on-ball defenders. Yeah. Follow your man back into the lane and let them push through that screen.
But to be fair though, with Lopez in game 3, 12 points on 7 shots and only 6 rebounds.
Okay, so how many offensive rebounds?
4 offensive rebounds.
Okay, so see, that's what I'm saying. 4 offensive rebounds. Let's say 3 of them are putbacks. Those are 6 of his points.
I got you, but isn't it better that it was just off of rebounds than him shooting that mid-range and making them.
But yeah, that was ridiculous that he was hitting that mid-range
But
shot.
the first two games, that's what he was doing.
He
because
doesn't
of,
have
because
that
Especially
in
the third
his
quarter.
repertoire.
You hit 4 of those in a row.
I
But
know.
And I'm telling you, the Bulls are going to exploit that in game 4.
That's
Expect
why,
that.
That's why Rondo was able to
huge.
accumulate 14, whatever, some odd assists
Well,
in the first two games.
Let's talk about Rondo. You bring him up now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. You took the words right out of my mouth. Let's backtrack a bit. Let's talk about game 1 and 2 because I want to know what went wrong. It was game 1 and 2 just the Rondo effect. Is that all it was? Is that the reason why they won those games? Because there's a good chance Jimmy Butler is going to revert to being the guy he was in game 2. He's going to drop 30. I'm telling you right now, they need him to drop 30. The Bulls cannot win another playoff game without Jimmy Butler going off. So expect that in game 4.
Also, too, Isaiah is going to drop 50 next game. That's
Isaiah. That's a
Isaiah's
fair point too.
going off.
Isaiah is going to go off too. So those two, okay. Let's say hypothetically they cancel each other out. What else did the Bulls do in game 1 and 2 for them to top the Celtics so
they
easily?
dictated the pace, something that the Celtics took care of.
So that's the Rondo effect, right?
That's the Rondo effect.
Yeah.
Is that it?
When they're running, and this is exactly why that lineup that you said is a weird lineup.
Well,
in the third quarter. They ran.
Yes,
they were running.
The
That's
Jerebko, Olynyk,
Smart,
Smart, Bradley, Rozier. To me, that's like Brad Stevens' like probably favorite lineup. I don't think, and I don't know the stats on this. I didn't look it up.
You have to ask Sean Brady on that.
Yeah, I don't think that lineup's played all fucking year. Rozier, Bradley, Smart, Olynyk, and Jerebko on the floor. But the thing that
Joe, can you call Grandy real quick?
Yeah, let me call him up.
I think you can find that on Basketball Reference. We'll talk about that lineup in a second.
To that point, though, why did the Celtics ever give up that lead? Even though they were up by 20 in the first half, and then they're only up by 3 by halftime, and in the third quarter they turned it up a notch, right? It wasn't just them hitting threes because it was more the open floor, something that we didn't see in games 1 and 2 from the Celtics. The transition points, the moving the ball, and just running. And that's something that they couldn't do in games 1 and 2.
Well,
back to the Rondo effect, right?
I think it has a lot to do with missed shots by the Bulls. I mean, you have to capitalize on that, but the Bulls did an excellent job of getting back and defending the Celtics at the rim. They sort of, in my opinion, not forced, but they sort of allowed the Celtics to take those open shots, and they just weren't falling. I mean, I read a stat that Avery Bradley, more than 50% of his shots were uncontested, and that you could say the same thing about a lot of those perimeter shots.
Well, how many times did they double Isaiah?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, though. Again, we've talked about this before. It was like deja vu, what we saw the Atlanta Hawks do a year ago. You know, double up on Isaiah and challenge the Celtics, rest of the guys, to shoot their way out of it. And that's what they did in game 1 and 2, in my opinion.
But they rushed their shots, I felt like.
They rushed their shots specifically in game 2. I felt like when they fell to a double-digit deficit, that's when they were sort of just chucking them and thinking that they could just, cut the deficit in half in one play. And that's something that we rarely see from the Celtics because this is the team that we've seen make a lot of comebacks, whether it was 18, 19, heck, even over 20 points. We've seen the Celtics come back from those deficits and win those games. And they know that you do that by, little by little, whether it's a layup, whether it's getting to the free throw line, you chip away at that. And I felt the Celtics were just chucking threes, thinking that they can just, make 3 threes in a row and cut that deficit into one, it was 2 points.
It was them being at home too. They desperately, I felt like, wanted the crowd to be into it. So anytime they cut it into like single digits, the Bulls would come right back and another 3 or some other crazy play, and the crowd would be taking it right out of it. And on the road, I felt like in game 3, the Bulls crowd was rarely into that game, so that helps, I think.
Well, let me ask you guys.
Yeah, the Bulls were supposed to have a great home court advantage, and that was
because home court advantage technically it was in there.
They have it now.
They do well at home, but at the same time, the Celtics have done a great job on the road. So
I know. It's the mental aspect of it because you're the first time they've had home court advantage in a playoff series since Brad Stevens has taken over.
Right.
And
it's the first time they've been a favorite.
Yeah, exactly.
So without Rondo now, right?
Like this,
who's going to be their point guard?
It should be, like we said, it should be Wade. He doesn't want that.
I think we said that before we started recording.
Yeah. So Wade should do it. Wade's not going to do it, I don't think. I mean, are you worried about? See, because I think Rondo was the key to the Bulls' ball movement, pace, offense. Like if they're not if they're not relying on that, they're relying on Rondo to spread the ball and move the offense. They're now relying on Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade to ISO, right? I mean, what else do they have? So
that's the reason why games 1 and 2 they were like, all right, we're trusting you to find us and the rest of the team, open shots and open looks.
Right.
So it's one guy controlling the ball. On Friday night, they tried with Carter Williams, Wade, like a minute or two, even Jimmy Butler. And if they're the ones that got to bring up the ball and start, then that shot's being taken away from them at the same time. They play better when either Wade or Jimmy dictate the offense, right? How many times did Jimmy come down the court and, oh, no one's open, I'm going to just pop this shot, and it was an ill-contested shot.
Well, yeah, I think, and that's why the Celtics found success last night. I think the Bulls, you cut the head off the Bulls. You know what I mean?
Have to bring it up. With the last episode, this is before the untimely death of Isaiah Thomas' sister. How much has that affected the team as a whole? Because I feel like Isaiah that was the most inspiring performance I've ever seen from any player. I mean, for Isaiah Thomas to do what he did in game 1 and lead the team with 33 points, lead all scorers with 33 points. I felt like the rest of the team just didn't, I don't know, they were out of sync. They weren't in tune with the game. I mean, the Celtics did lead, at certain points of that game, but going into that fourth quarter, you knew it was going to be close. You knew it would come down to the wire, especially after Jimmy Butler went off in that third quarter. And then in the fourth, at the end, it sort of just fell apart and they lost the game.
Yeah.
Now, my question to you two is, how much has this affected the team basketball-wise? Not emotionally. Well, I guess the two are sort of intertwined.
Hand in hand?
Yeah, I guess they're intertwined, but at the same time, I want to know, let's say hypothetically, if Isaiah didn't go off and he had a rough game, would you expect them to do the opposite? Because I think I would. I think seeing Isaiah go off sort of put them at a standstill where they were sort of just like, wow, look at him go.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, okay, let me do the same.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
They didn't want to, they probably, I think there's two things that this whole situation showed us is that, obviously, shitty situation. I mean, anyone has to go through that stuff. I mean, his performance in game 1 was it was Jordan-esque.
I mean, what was it? 13 points in the first quarter. I mean, just right off the bat, he was just going off.
Playing free. He was playing loose and but the thing is that I think since this happened to Isaiah, and I don't want to say, I'm just going to say it. Brad Stevens isn't the guy that's going to come in and command the room and really rally the troops, which I think was a flaw for him in this situation. You know what I mean? I think the Celtics were looking for, what do we do here? Obviously Isaiah is in his own world at this time. And the team doesn't know how to react. Yeah. And I don't think Stevens is the type of guy to be able to make the team feel united that way. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have that type of personality to really demand the room, which I think hurt them. I really think that not having that voice, because Isaiah would be that voice normally, but not having that voice to unite the room, to rally everybody behind Isaiah, was a huge problem with the way that they played. And the reason why I was so mad after game 1, where I was like, how can you just watch Isaiah do all this? And you're not stepping your game up? Because I really don't think they had a voice to say, this is what we need to do. We need to do this for Isaiah and rally the troops, which to all of Brad's positives as a coach, that's one thing, like in this type of situation, which is very rare, but motivating guys and getting them, in the right mindset, I just don't think he has that in him. I was a little let down by that. Maybe not even on Stevens, but somebody needed to rally the team around that. And I feel like everyone was looking around trying to figure, which is obviously you're not expecting to be in this situation, and you don't want to be in that situation.
And that's one question I asked Brad Stevens.
Yeah.
I was like, have you ever been in a situation like this? And he's like, no. I mean, I've been with guys who've, lost a grandparent or, something like that, but like a sibling.
A younger sister. No, I've never done this before. And, he's in a spot where he's never been through, never been in that spot as a coach. I guess the bigger point here is that the Celtics don't have that guy. You hear Kevin Garnett coming back and rallying the troops and like getting their mindset together and sending them that video. I mean, that's the type of presence they're missing on this team, whether it's their coach or that player that's really going to be the glue guy and the guy that's They don't have that, which I think is a little bit concerning, especially when you're going through some type of, a situation where you need to be bonded together.
And Isaiah, of course, went to Washington before Game 3, so he was with his family, and I'm sure that's when it really sunk in. I mean, he lost his sister, China Thomas, and I can't imagine, the kind of memories that trip must have sparked, just being with the family, being back in that area where they grew up. So I didn't expect a big game out of Isaiah, and of course, I mean, he played okay. It wasn't an Isaiah Thomas type game.
It's a superhero effort.
It was,
it
was under 20 points, which is not like him, but yeah, him being able to play. But I'm talking about Game 3. I mean, I expected him to sort of have a so-so night, but seeing the rest of the team rally behind him, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like, let's say this is what we saw in Game 1 out of Thomas. Right. I think you would have saw the same effect from the rest of the team. Seeing Isaiah go off in Game 1, I think sort of put them at a standstill. And then, of course, Jimmy Butler caught fire, and they were at a point where, the game was out of reach. They rallied back in that final minute. Jay Crowder took some questionable shots. The first one was okay. The second one was what bothered me. They had a chance that the 2 threes, they had a chance to tie things up or come back, be down by 1 or whatever. They lost it, whatever. That was the most winnable game out of those 2, of course. Game 2, the Bulls just flat out win. However, moving forward, you saw what happened in Game 3. Now going to Game 4, I think Isaiah's gonna have a great game.
Yeah, someone like Avery Bradley, for example, who knows Isaiah, knows his family. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's not gonna come out and say he's grieving too. Right? But you have to imagine what he's going through his mind because they've known each other, because they're so close.
And he had off games in Game 1 and 2.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So I feel like that team is the Celtics they're close in that team, right? That's been reported. You can see that they're cool with one another, and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. It's like Isaiah's there physically.
That's what I'm saying.
But mentally, he's somewhere else.
Somebody had needed to step up.
Yeah.
Obviously not Isaiah. Obviously.
Yeah.
But there needed to be this voice that came out that unified everybody.
Yeah.
And was able to get them in. But I just don't think it's there on the team. That's what I'm saying is like Stevens isn't that guy. So for all his, that's a flaw.
Yeah. No, I think in Game 1, you're right, though. I think the team got caught up in him doing his thing, like, wow, like I can't believe, considering everything he was going through 24 hours prior to that game.
Yeah,
he's doing this, and then it's like, oh shit, we got to respond now.
I mean,
too.
I couldn't believe he played.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe.
I honestly didn't think
he
was going to play. To be honest,
I mean, I was trying to put myself in that shit, and I was like, there's no friggin' way I would get out there.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. That being said, in Game 2, straight dud.
Yeah, by the whole team.
Straight dud. And for all these, I got to say this because I feel this past week I've been getting a lot of, from different accounts, whether it's on Twitter or on Instagram, like, oh, let's get this hashtag going, win for China. And it's like, all right, guys. It's one thing that you want to support Isaiah. I get that.
Right.
But if your objective behind this quote unquote movement is for the Celtics to win this series, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah. That's kind of like, you have
to separate the two.
You got to separate the two.
That would be the normal thing to do.
Isaiah's a human being at the end of the day.
Right.
And this is, and I don't think, and I get where it's coming from because, in the city of Boston, when it comes to your sports teams, it's like, it's a part of life, right? Things like this happen. You don't want that to happen, but they happen. And you want to rally together but I don't know. I felt like those kind of things are
tacky.
Not just tacky. Yeah. For lack of a better word, it's just
everyone has their way to do it.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone has their way. I get it, and people grieve differently, and but especially in the hours of the news being released.
Well, Jordan's going off at 63.
Yeah, Jordan got my attention here. Yeah. But go on. Well, Sean, is that your favorite Jordan performance? That game in the Garden
against the '86 Celtics?
Yeah.
Well, DJ had a pretty good game that game.
Who's your favorite player off the Celtics team that year?
DJ.
Dennis Johnson. He said it already. 86.
Come on, man.
Oh, that was 86? Yeah, that was 86. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
He said DJ. Come on, man.
Jordan's first appearance in the playoffs.
What about the 70? What about the 75 Celtics? Who's your favorite
75
player?
Celtics? I'll probably
second appearance, sorry.
Probably go with Collins. Big Dave Counts guy. Probably most underrated Celtic of all time.
You know, how funny is that that Jordan only played the Celtics once in his career in the playoffs?
Well, the Celtics sucked
the
in the
Celtics
90s.
blew when he was making his run.
Yeah.
Would have been great to see him in the playoffs. That would have been awesome.
Against Antoine Walker.
Yeah, but he retired.
All right, well, before we get into, in case you missed it, and wrap up this show, I have to say, now that the Celtics have won Game 3, regardless of what happens in Game 4, the Celtics will return to Boston, which is a very encouraging sign because the Celtics, of course, do play well at home. And if you are looking at an opportunity to go to the game, because you don't want to just see it at home, you want to be there, you want to see live playoff action, the best way to do it, of course, is by downloading the SeatGeek app if you haven't done it already. Download the SeatGeek app, enter the promo code Causeway, and you can get yourself a $20 rebate. All you have to do is head to the settings tab, enter the promo code, and you can get a $20 rebate just for listening to the Causeway Street podcast. Again, the promo code is Causeway. SeatGeek will send you a $20 rebate after you made your first purchase, and all you have to do is enter the keyword Causeway. That's SeatGeek. There's nothing like being in the stadium, especially playoff time with the biggest plays of the year, and SeatGeek can get you closer to the action with the best value around. That is SeatGeek. Download the app, enter the promo code Causeway, and get yourself that $20 rebate. Do it if you haven't already.
In case you missed it.
The Clippers took a 2-1 lead over the Utah Jazz on Friday night, but not without Blake Griffin suffering another injury.
Soft as fuck.
This time it was to his big toe.
Oh, the baby toe.
Seriously, Blake Griffin
His big right toe.
is soft as fuck.
They're calling it a toe injury.
Turf toe?
It was like the plantar plate of his right big toe.
Yeah, plantar fasciitis or what? Plantar fasciitis? How do you say that shit?
I don't know, but you're definitely not pre-med.
No. Trust
So
me.
he's out for the rest of the series.
That's a huge blow for Clippers.
Another list of add that to the list of injuries during his whole career.
Yeah.
Patch him up and get him ready for the next series.
He missed his whole rookie season, if you remember.
Yes, he did. He did.
Which
him up.
sucks for the Jazz.
A year ago, he was out in the playoffs in the first round as well.
Yeah.
Do you think he can come back for the second round?
I don't know.
Depends how.
It says it's out. He's out. Yeah.
Depends how bad his little baby toe's feeling.
It's the big toe, man.
How do you know it's the big toe? It said toe. It didn't say anything about.
It said the right
gotta
big
be the
toe.
big
It said the right big toe.
I mean, all of his toes are probably pretty big. He's 6'10".
In the first half. In the first half
He must be thinking like, damn, out of all the fucking toes,
of Game 3,
gotta be the big one.
Big toe.
You need that big one, man.
the Big Daddy.
Yeah, the Jazz should have fucking won that game last night, or at least.
But how come?
Well, they're
Why
playing
do you
without.
say this?
They're playing without Gobert, which is
Yes.
fortunate for the Clippers because if Gobert's in the series and you don't have Blake Griffin,
Well, how's Gobert coming
you're in a
back?
tough spot.
Is he going to come back, or what's going on with Gobert?
Oh yeah, no, he's still like out.
gonna be out for a
Definitely.
while.
They don't know how long. They haven't put a time frame on it.
It's a tough loss.
I think they're trying to see if he can come back at some point in this first round series. That would be huge. That'd be a good advantage for
By the way,
Utah.
that Chicago bean is the dumbest fucking thing in the world.
Okay.
The gigantic bean.
Oh, like the mirror one.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
Ask the Chicagoans.
Why?
Don't know.
This is why the only good thing in Chicago is Michael Jordan.
Chicagoans.
That's it. Cubs suck. Annoying.
How are they suck? They're the World Series champs, man.
Blackhawks are fucking annoying.
That I agree with. Fuck
Chicago
Blackhawks.
wins.
Blackhawks got swept by the Predators, though.
Chicago Guardians.
Talk about a
Giants.
number one seed. Yeah, Sears Tower. Oh, it's the biggest building ever. Yeah. Okay.
San
great.
Diegans.
San Diegans.
I'm sorry. I take the Prudential Center over the Sears Tower any fucking day.
They want Ron's blood.
Sears is going out of business, by the way.
Are they really, or are they just closing up some stores? That's how rumors get spread.
I mean, they're really close to going out of business if they don't already have it.
You know what it is?
I mean, when was the last time you fucking said, I need to go to Sears for this?
No, but everybody just shops online now, man.
I know,
It's
that's
just
what
the
I'm
way it
saying.
is. Unless
you
you want to pick up, a physical CD these days.
No one does that.
That's what I'm saying. Unless you want to, because cars still have CD players, then you can go to Best Buy. But
I'm just thinking about Sears. They do nothing well. You know what I mean? Like, they have so many things they offer.
do they still do the family portraits? No.
They probably
That
do.
was Bradley's.
No,
Sears does too.
no, Sears does a family portrait.
They do?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sears has
This
a photo center.
This conversation is
an
going over
auto
a lot of people's
center.
heads right now.
They got appliances. They got clothes. They got like outdoor. But they
Got shoes.
But you never go to Sears. You're never like sitting there and be like, let's go to Sears real quick and pick this up. Never. How are they still in business?
You know why? It's their credit cards. If you have a credit card,
They always push that
Yeah.
credit card.
If
Then
you have
you're
a credit
going
card-
there.
if you
Then
have
you're
a credit
going
card
there.
and it's like, shit, I got to go pick up this. Oh, might as well go to Sears. I got a credit
They
card.
were the first ones to do that store credit card.
I'll pay this shit later on in life.
Yep.
There you go.
So we just
And
basically.
this is all about Blake Griffin.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Blake Griffin's toe is still broken, and Sears is going
Still in
bankrupt.
business. No, they're still in business.
Still in business.
And that's it for in case you missed it. Kevin Durant is still nursing his calf injury. I'm gonna put that in quotations because I don't think he's nursing it. I think they're just resting him. Do they really need him against?
Are you calling them liars?
I am. I'm calling them fibbers.
Well, after they blew him out by like 30 points, I mean,
Yeah,
they've
I mean,
proven that they don't need Kevin Durant.
In
to
the
beat
regular
Blazers.
season, they were 17-4 without Kevin Durant, and they're having a pretty easy time with the Trailblazers so far in this series. So why really play him?
Because you paid mad money for him?
Still doesn't matter.
No, you don't play him.
Yeah. So
Did you guys see? Do you guys say
Durant
that-
says he wants to play though, but
that Game of Zones thing? That's the funniest thing, man. On
did
Bleacher
see-
Report,
I said that.
Yeah.
I said that shit to you
the
guys.
Game of that's mad funny.
when he was going to make a decision. I'm upset that the Celtics weren't in that episode.
Yeah, me too.
What's up
I
with
was
that,
waiting
yeah?
for this, and the Sixers
The
were
Sixers-
in there. It's like, yo,
How do you feel about tanking?
how you watch Game of Thrones?
No, I don't.
Then you don't even fully get it, then, man.
I like the old talk.
Yeah, but the way the Spurs are how the White Walkers is just the best.
With the
dead people.
No, the soul
The
box.
soul box. Yeah,
The soul
that's
box.
just mad funny.
All right, what else we miss?
Yeah,
In case you missed it,
indubitably.
indubitably. That's the word.
Fucking Kawhi. By the way, I'm really pulling for the Grizzlies now in that first round series. Really pulling for him. I've realized I hate Pop.
Well, that's not going to happen, but you can keep pulling for him.
Why wouldn't it happen?
As much as I love Zach Randolph,
They bodied him.
they're not that great.
No, I'm telling. I said this.
Go ahead.
The Grizzlies are a
their-
bad matchup for the Spurs.
In case you missed it, we touched upon it earlier in the episode. Rajon Rondo's out with a fractured thumb. We didn't actually describe his injury, but he's got a fractured thumb. Doesn't need any surgery. Could be out for 10 days. That would be game 7 of this series. You guys think he comes back? If it goes that far?
I think he does because he wants to get paid. Honestly, I think that plays a factor. I think Rondo, after what he's been doing this series, he's really making a strong case for himself for next year, whether it's with the Bulls or whether it's with another team.
Yeah, it was like a week to set.
But why would he
between 7 and 10.
Well, also the competitive factor. I mean, you put Rondo back in the series, especially in the Game 7 situation. That's a coin flip. I mean, the Bulls could steal that. Yes, the Celtics are at home, but the Bulls just proven that they can beat them at home.
He won't come back for that same exact reason. Why would he come back if he can't play? If he's not comfortable playing, he left a great impression in those first 2 games. That's what people will remember. Why would he come back and have a dud?
Because he can push them into another series and continue playing. I mean, if he's only out for 10 games, why not? If the diagnosis was he's out for the rest of the playoffs, that's a different story. But if it's 10 games and he can rush back and help them in Game 7,
10 days.
why not?
10 days.
I mean, the Celtics
10 episodes.
He said 10 games. That's why I'm like 10 episodes.
the Celtics didn't look. I don't know, man. I guess the Rondo, they just the Bulls' offense looked like they were the number 1 seeds of the Celtics when Rondo was out there.
Blasphemy. Oh, by the way, how about I bring
All
up an
that-
NBA
all that-
rumor?
all that
You guys
Percocet
hear about
Molly.
the Carmelo talk that came back up?
That's what it was. No. I was going to talk about Carmelo in general. No, hold on.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. No, we'll get into that.
Oh, that's what it was.
No.
Sure,
Listen.
That's
That's what it was. No, that's what it was.
Sure.
No, Carmelo Anthony, he's separated from his wife, right? Talking about all this shit that's been happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't hear about this?
Yeah.
Oh.
Last week
Yeah,
also,
yeah,
Phil Jackson, you know, again, like, because that's what he's been doing all season, shit on Carmelo saying that he should be gone. Like, he doesn't want to, he believes he doesn't want to play for New York anymore, or that he shouldn't play for New York anymore, and that he's a
sees the
selfish
writing on the
guy.
wall.
Shit like that, right?
Yeah.
And then this comes out that he's been cheating on his wife. He has a side piece. That's what I'm gonna call it because
she's a stripper.
That's what they say. I'm not sure if that's the case or not.
Well, she's a stripper.
They said I heard she was a dancer, man. What if she's a ballet dancer? Huh? You don't know that.
She strips.
How do you know this?
Because I just fucking know.
He's like I seen it.
I seen it.
I seen it.
Her name is Sprinkles. Okay, you can see it.
That's not true. Don't take that verbatim.
And Mello was there that night.
We're about to get quoted in TMZ. Causeway Street Blog says her name's Sprinkles.
Sprinkles can be seen on stage A. Everybody give it up for Sprinkles.
And you know there's a girl in New York stripping that's named Sprinkles.
Oh, 100%.
It's gonna be somebody.
Sprinkles comes out like, no, it's not me. That's Daisy, not me.
Nah, she's gonna take that She's gonna
like-
take that publicity.
she's
She's gonna
like,
say,
yeah.
yeah.
You never know if it's me.
Well, this hypothetical stripper, aka or
Sprinkles.
I don't know what her fucking name is.
call her
6
Sprinkles.
months pregnant, apparently.
No,
you got that stripper pregnant.
This coming the same
Oh.
the same week
But,
that a preview for Power has come out. Have you seen it?
Oh, Lala.
Yes.
In Power.
Crazy.
Now,
Lala has to take advantage of these
now,
things.
may I
this is
say?
a big
Wait,
rip
Power's
town.
coming back on.
It's coming back on in July, but there was a
come
sneak
from
peek
the
of the first
poorest
episode.
part.
You know what's funny is that my girlfriend ended up just finishing season two without me, and I'm out of the loop. I don't know what happened at the end of season 2.
Well, then you better get on it.
You better catch up, man.
You better get on
You got
it.
time
I love
though.
Power.
You got like
I'm like
8
4
weeks.
episodes behind.
You got like
then-
8 weeks.
All there's ties. That's what happens when you live in New York.
Yes, and you know what?
Ties together.
Why does Carmelo all of a sudden really want to get out of New York? Maybe because Sprinkles is there. Lala's gonna leave
So
him.
now, of
he
course,
stayed in
this-
New York for Lala.
Yeah, the rumors come up again, have resurfaced about, the Celtics have a great chance. And this happened after game 2, right?
Right.
You know, shitty loss. Oh, Carmelo really would, be open to a trade to the Celtics. And everyone who's on the bandwagon of jumping off the toll, being like, this series is over. The Celtics need to blow it up. Yeah, bring in Carmelo Anthony.
I know. I wasn't on that bandwagon, and I want to bring in Carmelo.
No, I didn't say you were, but I'm just saying.
I know, but I'm just saying I want to bring in Carmelo.
Oh, you want to bring him in?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
If you're gonna get him for nothing, because you know why?
But how are you going to get him from nothing, though? You have to
No.
match contracts somehow.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, he
so
doesn't mean like they're gonna give the
for
Celtics
nothing.
Carmelo Anthony.
But you can
Amir Johnson.
Yeah, you can find ways to make that deal happen. I
Amir
mean,
Johnson, Terry Rozier.
This deal has to happen before July
James
1st,
Young.
though.
before July 1st.
Yes.
Why?
Because that's a new season. And then Amir Johnson is
Yeah.
it's off the books.
Oh yeah, but you can re-sign him. Can you do
Sign
that?
and
Re-sign and trade?
You could.
Yeah. So there's plenty of things they can do, and you know what? I mean, you could put a package together for Carmelo Anthony that has no ill effect on your team, and then you get a score. I mean, I know people say
I think depending on how the season ends, like that'd be like a
that's
draft
huge
draft
thing.
day trade.
That's a huge thing.
type of
It
shit.
depends on how the season ends. If they get knocked out in the first round, then yeah, they should probably look at this and explore it. But if they go deep and they're fine and they find they don't, scoring's huge. And if you can just have a guy, a veteran who can score, I don't think Carmelo's actually that bad of an egg. Because you put him in a positive situation. I mean, he's never been in a
think so.
positive
I mean,
situation.
I said that in the past, especially after he signed his latest contract. I was like, no, like fuck that. But the way things are going and his window is closing quickly
maybe a lot
to
more.
get into the finals at least. Not,
he
not even
know-
just win it, but just
and
get
he
into
knows
it.
that.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
thing.
So
He
I
knows
think
that.
he'll behave himself in terms of like he'll do whatever he's told to do on the basketball court.
I mean, at this point in his career,
Like,
he has to understand.
Yeah, it hasn't gone his
that
way.
He's not going to be the man anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Hasn't gone his way this whole time.
Exactly.
His best chance was the last year or the second to last year in Denver when they went to the Western Conference Finals. That's as far as he's ever been. Only once. Other than that, he's never been out of the first round. So, if he gets his shit together, and like you said, if it's like for nothing, then yeah.
I mean, it's not.
Fuck,
I mean,
why
he's
not?
30. He's 32 years old.
Yeah,
right. So
same
you're
age
gonna
as
get a
LeBron, yeah.
33-year-old Carmelo. I don't know.
I think it's something worth looking into. I'm not saying like go ahead and definitely do it. But
I would say because obviously everybody knows that Phil Jackson wants to trade him now, so he loses all leverage.
plus, if he
he's
does
not,
stay,
he's not gonna be able to hold you over a barrel.
if he does stay separated with Lala, it's a free man, right? So he can
Get as many strippers pregnant as he wants?
No, I didn't say all that, but I just meant like.
Just wondering where you're going with that.
He'll play without all this shit.
He's Lala free.
He's Lala free, yes.
Interesting.
Not a lot of great strip clubs in Boston, though, so he's going to have to be okay with that. Which is probably a good thing. He got one pregnant. He probably wants to stay out of that scene for a while.
I mean,
wants to get away from that.
If she is a stripper, like you say she is, doesn't mean they met in a strip club.
She's a stripper.
She could be just a groupie who just follows him everywhere he goes.
All I'm saying is, how do you even get in that situation? If you know you're going to, bang a stripper,
well,
you better just put one on, man.
Have you seen? Well, he probably did. What if she poked holes into it? You never know.
Come on, man.
Have you seen?
All right, guys, wrap it up.
Have you seen?
Wrap it up.
That's what he should have done. He should have wrapped it up.
Yeah, thank you. No, how do you get in that situation? Jesus.
Well, I mean, if you have a chick like Lala, I don't know why he's even looking elsewhere.
I'm not a big Lala fan. No.
Okay, that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day.
We can talk about it.
In case you missed it.
Okay.
Sean Dutra does not like Lala. Russell Westbrook. I mean, at this point, talking about him having a triple-double is like, saying that the sky is blue. But they got to win this time.
Nice one.
And and he only scored 32 points. Only 32 points.
Only.
But they got to win. So good
good because
he was pissed afterwards though.
That game too when he went.
He got fined. He got fined.
Oh no! Okay. That was when he dropped 52.
Yeah, that was after game 2.
I'm talking about Friday night. He was pissed because he missed a big free throw that could have tipped the scale. They could have gone to overtime. Luckily they didn't. But he was so fixated on that. I mean, I think this guy is like, I think he's gone insane. Like I think he's like he's obsessed. He has to be flawless.
No,
he has to be flawless. Yo, if you see, I'm telling you, pull it up. We don't have time right now, but after the show, if you look at that post game interview,
what he was wearing.
No,
yes, he is.
No. I'm not talking about. It wasn't a press conference. I'm talking about on the floor. First of all, he didn't even want to do the interview. No. You saw the media chase him down after the game and grab him. And he's like, all right, fine, I'll do it. And he's just like, I'm pissed. I missed that free throw. I missed that free throw. I need to make those. It is what it is. I'll move on. But that can't be happening. He was so fixated on missing that free throw, and I think part of it had to do with the fact that the game before that, when he dropped 52, the most points ever scored in a playoff triple double, he missed 2 big free throws down the stretch that could have given them a better chance to tie it up. But at the end of the day, I think the game was still out of reach. However, I don't know, man. I think Russell Westbrook's on some other shit right now. He's just he has to be flawless. He's obsessed with his individual performance. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. At the end of the day, it's what helps them win. But I just think this guy's a madman.
By the way, why did he only get fined $15,000 for the F-bomb after game 2, and Marcus Smart got fined $25,000 for the bird, for flipping the bird?
That's because that's a paid customer, man. He went to go see the game. He's talking some shit. He's paid a ticket to talk shit. And he got the bird.
But shouldn't it be this? I think that's an equal amount. They should be both be.
Should be equal.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's easier to bleep out a swear than blur out a middle finger.
Yeah.
Maybe it's production cost.
Millions of people watching too. A lot more people watching Marcus Smart do that.
Oh yeah, true. It's on the floor. It's on the floor.
People watching that press conference.
Russell Westbrook is insane. I think that's
he's tapped.
He's tapped.
Well,
100%.
I mean, he wears tablecloths to the game, so yeah. That's
watch that Game of Zones episode, but he's sitting on his horse wearing that goofy ass outfit, and he eats a cupcake.
Like, the kingdom is
now
mine.
I can do what I want. And he just eats a fucking cupcake with a cherry on top
with sprinkles on it.
And you're just like, yeah, that's Russell Westbrook. That is Russell Westbrook. That is.
This, in case you missed it, is brought to you by
CLNS.
We need to make that the jingle. Come on, I gotta call Nick.
You want the best.
Gotta call Nick Gelso and ask him about that.
Yeah, man, we just gotta do it.
I bet you he's like, I fucking hate you guys do that. But whatever. The rest of the episode is good, so I guess I got to deal with it for a few seconds. CLNS Radio app.
It's like you guys still doing that, huh?
I know, right? I thought you guys
that was a one-time thing.
I thought you guys would have figured out when you haven't heard from me that I don't like it.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're mocking us.
I know, right?
I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful.
Yeah.
So could you? I didn't want to be like a dick and tell you to stop, but fucking stop doing that shit.
This is like the 7th episode.
No. Since you've asked me my opinion, I get to tell you.
Yeah.
Cut the shit.
Yeah.
CLNS Radio app. Download it on your iPhone or Android for the best coverage in all of sports.
It's a great jingle.
Especially Boston sports.
Oh, yeah.
Celtics. You can listen to our podcast on there.
Bruins still alive.
The Bruins still alive. Yo, real quick, yo, fuck these Bruins fans that again doing the same shit.
Let's not go down this road.
Come on, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing
fuck that, yo. This whole
we're the bigger fan base.
Talking shit about the Celtics that you haven't heard from them all season long about the Celtics. They're just like, well, at least us Bruins fans, we know what kind of team we have, and we don't have a 5'9" guy that we're going to be relying upon that you're going to bring us to the championship.
Oh, finally!
Fuck off!
Finally, the green teamers get a little bit dose of reality. Oh, down 0-2. Oh, I guess your team is not as great as you thought they were.
You know who I blame for this type of divide?
I know who you're going to say.
Michael Phelps.
Yeah, fuck that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And fuck the one that all they do is regurgitate everything he says.
Yes.
Form your own fucking opinion.
Yes.
Then we'll have a conversation.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah,
those
fuckers are still alive.
So fuck Maz, because that's all his job is to just Mike, just say something. I'm going to say it differently and be very passionate about it. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Also on the app, back to the app, Red Sox.
What app?
The CLNS.
When you want the bed.
This should be a duo.
Yeah. I need a bass. I need a bass line.
You want to be the soprano and I be the alto?
Yes, do it.
Okay. Red Sox. And Patriots talk.
Yes.
And Chris Sale's pretty good,
My boy
huh?
Malcolm Butler, though.
Okay. Yeah, man.
It's like 2 different sports. All right.
Okay.
All covered under
Everything
the
can get this.
CLNS umbrella.
Really showing our...
Chris Sale can really pitch, huh?
Chris Sale can really pitch.
Yo, we need to go to a Sox game soon.
Yo, let's do it.
We got to do it soon.
Oh, make sure to peep the CLNS Radio Celtics pregame hosted by Joe Sway.
Oh, yes. Check that out.
Before every Celtics game.
On the app.
On the app.
Speaking of CLNS, let's try to get Honeydew as our sponsor because I see the Isaiah Thomas Honeydew commercial. That shit looks bomb. Look at that triple-double, man.
Are you just giving them a read right now?
Seriously,
okay.
bro.
Right. Honeydew Donuts.
Not giving us any props, man.
Honeydew Donuts. Get that triple-double sandwich.
This-
Woo! That's a triple-decker.
This is the first time I've seen this commercial.
Little bacon, little sausage, little cheese, little egg, 3 pieces of bread. What?
And that's it for...
In case you missed it.
About to go to Honeydew.
Make sure to not go to Honeydew.
Why?
Or go to Honeydew if you want to go there.
It's a free country, Joel.
But while you go to Honeydew, make sure to go to causewaystreetblog.com for all your Celtics playoff coverage. Also, you can have conversation with us on Twitter, Instagram, and follow us on Snapchat. We need them follows to get up. We are better than the Celtics.
Yes.
Snapchat.
On home games,
Accounts.
we are better than the Celtics. And on away games, sometimes I'll just put up a Snapchat of me drinking beer and cheering for the game. So you can watch that as well.
Those are great stories. Great Snapchat stories.
Additionally, my final point of the day, looking at Game 4, I think we should all give final points.
Are you making? I was just gonna say this is the new Ducha segment for the playoffs.
Final thought.
Final thought. I'm just saying.
A Ducha thought.
Ducha Springer. Final thought.
Final thought. Guys, we gotta be better to our spouses, okay?
Be nice to each other.
Even though they may be sleeping around, and even though they may be saying you're the baby daddy when you're
Is that
not,
still on? Is that
we
still
need
on?
to be
Yes.
positive in this world to make a real difference. That's Jerry Springer's final thought.
No,
What
but
did he say? Be kind to yourself and each other.
That's what it was. I was trying to remember that.
Always the same
Yes, guys.
final thought.
Guys.
I used to hate watching Jerry Springer because that meant I was like feeling like shit. I wasn't at school for some reason.
Yes.
Like it's the worst television to watch while you're actually sick.
It was either you were
because you
sick
just
or
feel
you were.
so much worse about yourself.
It was
after
either you were
watching that.
sick or it was a boring summer day.
Yeah, the summer
you weren't
day.
out and doing something.
Yes, there was never a good. If you're watching television at 11,
with Jenny,
10:30,
with Jenny Jones coming up next.
Yeah,
That's not
and
good.
you're
But
like,
what about the Price is Right?
oh, The Price is Right.
Well, that's more upbeat. You know,
Okay.
people winning money.
That's
people
like
winning.
okay. I got nothing to do today.
That was
I'm gonna
on.
watch
That
it.
was on at 11.
Right, but maybe that's a repeat. and You got to go to freaking Jerry Springer. But the thing is, no, because Jerry Springer's more of like a 1:00 show, right? It was like sort of early afternoon.
I think it was 12.
Yeah,
12:01.
So that's the worst. If you haven't figured out your day by 12,
It was like
you're
it was
having a
like
shitty day.
Yeah.
it was like
You're
three.
still in?
It was like
And
three
then-
straight things. It
yeah,
was like
Judge
it was-
Judy right after.
No, it was like Maury Povich.
Yeah,
You got Maury. You got Jerry Springer, and Jenny Jones.
Jenny Jones.
Or like what was it? Judge Judy.
you're always sitting there thinking like, Judge Judy's on next. What do I do?
Like it's getting late.
Do I watch Judge Judy? Do I just call it a day?
When you watch
Because
it,
then when Judge Judy comes on, then it's Dr. Phil,
Yeah.
then it's
That's what I'm
Oprah,
saying.
then it's the 5:00 news, and
If
your
you-
day is done.
yeah.
Your
If
day
you-
is done. Then you got to watch sports.
if you know what time it is just based on like the theme of the show, you're like, fuck, man, it's 3:00. I
I
gotta do some shit with my life today.
Something today.
This is a waste of a day. When you woke up that morning, you were like, "I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna be productive today."
Like I pissed the day away.
You go from
it's
4
3:45.
I used to go from 4 episodes of SportsCenter, however long it took me to memorize what was coming up next in the highlights.
when you start saying,
then
who's
switch
gonna,
over to The Price is Right. Then switch over to Jerry Springer, and then from there it's like I'm either gonna sleep because I'm sick. Or I need to get the fuck out the house.
Yeah, but what about NBA Tonight though? I used to love that show. You could never, could never watch it because you were, we were young, so we were in bed. So then if you were out of school that day, I think it came on at 12:30 or so. So
why don't they?
They would go
anymore?
through all the games.
Why didn't
What was
repeat
that black dude's name they used to talk about?
Ahmad
Like,
Rashad?
I love that dude.
No, not Ahmad.
His last name was like Carter. Some
Carter. I'm gonna try to do an imitation. All right, here, what do you say? He's like, and then they went on a big run at the end of the game, and that's why they won the game. What was his name? It was ESPN, NBA Tonight.
I think he ended up being on like NBA TV for a little bit too. I was like, that's my dude. I forget his name though.
What the hell was that guy's name?
But remember, it's only game 3.
Every sentence ended that way. I'm gonna look it up right now. NBA Tonight.
That guy was the man.
What I was trying to say is that I really don't want Lopez to dominate Game 4. That's what I was
that's
going
right.
for.
You want to go back to your final thought.
That's my final thought. Is they
I
have to
thought
control
you
Lopez.
wanted the Celtics to
I'm much happier with the
to
Jerry Springer talk.
respect themselves and respect each other.
You know what also was the worst part about watching those television shows? Were the commercials, bro. It's just like, hey,
I want my money and I want it now.
So you're a deadbeat. So we're gonna try to. You're watching television right now.
Fred Carter.
You're watching television
Where's
right
he at
now.
these days?
We're gonna either try to get you to a culinary school. We're either gonna try to
Do it now. What are you waiting for? Do it.
We're either gonna
Do it now.
Oh no, but what about
You're not doing anything with your life. Do it right now.
What about the black dude?
Yeah.
No, don't do it tomorrow. Do it right now.
Do it right now.
It's easy, man.
Right now. He's like, I'll be waiting. Like he was literally like waiting for you to call. You're like, shit. I guess I just should.
Or
do
like
it.
that stupid money lending commercial, the
It'd be
like
funny if you-
lending tree. And Montel Williams comes on. You struggling with your bills? I know you are. It's like obviously I am. I'm either unemployed
I know,
or
right?
I'm a high
That's
school
why
student.
it's in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
That's why
I'm watching you right now, so obviously.
Obviously, my life's not that great, Montel. All right.
Montel's like, my show got canceled, so this is what I do with my life. What are you gonna do with your life?
Or the general. Hey, you want a car, but that car insurance is a little too much. Why don't you
Get a
get
great low rate. Be online. 1-800-thegeneral.com.
It's like you want a car so you can get the fuck out of your house right now.
Yeah.
Call the general.
You could get some car insurance for free, for cheap. Just call the general, baby.
Some states as low as $9.
What? $9 fucking dollars. I can go ride my mom's car right now.
Nice Shaq doing those commercials now.
Yeah, I know. Stupid.
All right, with that, we wrap up this episode of Causeway Street Podcast. If you were still listening right now,
God bless you.
You're a big fan.
God
you're
bless
a big
you.
fan, and we
We
appreciate
went off
that.
the wagon a little bit.
God bless you there.
We appreciate
Oh, off the wagon.
Off the wagon.
Oh.
Shout out to Zach.
What up, Zach?
Maybe we'll get them on next time. We'll see what happens. We will
Let's
be
go.
back after Game 5.
Celtics and
So we'll
Celtics
see
gonna
what
win
happens
4
between
straight.
now and then.
Get some better service there, Zach. Sorry.
Yeah, true. Maybe he's what that Metro PCS commercial is shooting for that you're watching.
Get some Cricket Wireless, bro.
Until then, you know where to follow us.
Call up Boost.
Yeah, Boost.
I'm Joseph Pavone.
Virgin Mobile.
Sean Dutra.
Joel Pavone.
Yeah.
We up out of here.
Later.
Later.